Hello, everyone. Happy Republic Day. Today, I was in one of the session, so where I think we were discussing on a case study. An interesting topic came, so I thought of quickly sharing that perspective before I forget. Right. So the discussion was primarily on the 10-minute delivery. Right. So I mean, few of the students were talking about it as a technology. Uh, Supporting it miraculously, and more like it was my thought process was like it is more like a business decision, and I mean technology enablement, something like that, right? It supports. So let us double click on that aspect, so which means I think it will give some clarity. I have noted few points, so which I will try to revolve around them so that we will have some structured perspective. It gives to everybody who is actually new to this concept also, right? So in reality, so most of the things are business model choice, right? So I think everything from a business angle, decision perspective. So technology is an enabler, but um, uh, business decisions are never created by technology, right? Technology is always an enabler, but yes, it will accelerate. So there is no doubt about it. But coming back to this topic, when we hear platforms like, say, Big Basket or Zepto or your Blinkit or all the similar services, we often think that and assume that speed comes from the technology. When I meant technology, the advanced algorithms that we use and the artificial intelligence nowadays that is everywhere, or some sort of superior infrastructure that is available to them, right? This is what usually people think. But this session I was in was with all the MBA students, right? The discussion happens very in an interesting way. Now, let us pause and reflect on that assumption, right? So, how do I look at? Uh, Let us look at not as a customer, right? So, and forget that I am also looking at from the technology aspect. I don't know anything about it, and but simply think from the decision making aspect, right? When I wanted to do that kind of a business, so let me just pause, reflect, and then think on the decision making problem aspect, right? So this is what it is now. Because 10-minute delivery, I mean, whatever that promise or decision that we take begins with one of the choice that we make, right, from a business angle. So then the piece of code or the technology or the infrastructure that we enable and accelerate happens much after that. So, how do businesses promise this 10-minute delivery? So, this is the key thing that we reflect on this today. And most importantly, how does they make it work? So, in my case, I have seen many of the scenarios where we forget as simple as the daily essentials like your onions or your curry leaves that you miss in your refrigerator, and then you realize, and then you just order it, and then within 3-4 minutes they appear at your doorstep, right? So I have experienced it, no doubt about it. But now let us reflect on it more at its core, right? Business platform is very simple. Business problem is very simple. Uh, Say urban customers especially, so they are pressed on time, right? Especially when daily essentials. So a decade back, at least 10 years back, so that's a monthly ritual. People used to go with a list of groceries that they wanted to have for the rest of the month, and then they used to buy in a lot, right? But now things changed slowly, so they just download the app and then order it. They even delete the app after that, because just to save the mobile real estate or whatever you call, right? So urban customers especially value what? The convenience more than the price for daily essentials. If it is more than 1 or 2 rupees extra, so they don't care. I mean, they are not sensitive to it. That's what it is. For example, say milk, your bread, your vegetables, basic groceries that you needed for your uh, 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 whatever the ingredients that you need. So these are repeated purchases, right? So then businesses should be able to predict this demand. So now what is the real question is, how do we deliver faster, right? So this is what it is. The real question is, how do we reduce waiting time without increasing the cost, right? So this is what it is, reducing the waiting time. Suppose I have 3 4 apps on my mobile, and then I will just check. If somebody says 16 minutes, if somebody says 8 minutes, if somebody says 4 minutes, 3 minutes, obviously I will go for the guy who is promising me to deliver within 3 minutes, right? So the answer lies in the proximity, not the speed. You understand that? So when they say 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, they're not talking about the speed. So underlying, they are working on something called the proximity. So these companies are not moving products very faster to you or across locations. They are moving other way. They are moving the inventory closer to the customers, right? So this is why, so the business model relies on something called dark stores. Dark stores, when I meant, these are, imagine like a small inventory warehouses where they are not up for retail selling, etc. They just keep conveniently the items that are having lot of demand or repeated orders kind of a thing, right? So the other thing is that something called, in a business vocabulary, they call it as micro fulfillment centers, right? For a small essential goods, and the delivery is tightly controlled. So they will say within 1 kilometer of radius. So they will just do that. They will just deliver. So which means, so in and out of 1 kilometer, whichever the vertical apartments and then the horizontal individual houses, they know, the delivery guys know where to go, how to go, even before they rely on the technology, etc. Right? So now the important aspect you need to catch here is that the inventory is already nearby. Then the 10 minutes becomes feasible, right? So this use cases succeeds only your geography, demand patterns, so which means that there should be some repeated orders, and the cost structures, right, should be deeper or aligned. Now, after all these things are okay, technology comes much later, right? Now, let us think on the critical distinction. Technology does not make the 10-minute delivery possible. Technology is just an enabler. Design, the business design. So technology will only optimize it, right? Technology will only optimize it. So this is what we have to understand. So now there are three core layers which I have just written to tell you, right? So one is first demand forecasting. So which means that your systems will estimate, right? What products will sell in which locality and at what time of the day. Suppose it's no brainer, right? Morning milk demand is different, and when you compare it with the late night people might order some light snacks or whatever, right? So that they need. Second is inventory optimization. Only fast moving items are stocked. So, right, so they don't want to have some dead stock in their inventory and then struggle for that. Only fast moving. So that's why, if you observed or not, the items are very limited. The spread is very limited. So you will not find lot of items that you will find in your supermarkets or whatever you call. I mean, in business terminology, they call it as SKU. So SKU, stock keeping unit, is intentionally limited. So because they wanted to operate in a different way. And the store layouts are optimized in such a way that, so the picking speed is very fast. So they know where it is. Suppose if you wanted to deliver in 4 minutes, so they should pick the order, accept the order. So, and then in the next 1 minute, delivery boy is assigned. In the same 1 minute, the order is actually handed over to him. So this is where they know where exactly this happens. Now, the other aspect is the routing algorithm, or you say dispatch or whatever you call it. Now, this algorithm will just optimize the route that the delivery partner need to take, etc., because of various route optimization algorithms that will take. And AI model, suppose if a wrong item is picked up and then handed over to the delivery partner, your technology is not helping there, right? It is someone human who is actually in the store picking it up, handing it over to the delivery partner, so that in turn he gives it instead of milk. So if the representative in the store picks up bread and then hands it over to the delivery partner, then the whole intent is gone, right? So technology will amplify, but if a bad choice is made or if a bad decision is made, so then it will not help. So this is the whole point I just wanted to drive. So technology will never replace the business decision or something that we do operationally, right? So it is not a miracle. So now there are few deeper measures that I just wrote, so that how these guys measure themselves, right? There should be some metric. So one is something like the moment your order is completed to the delivery completion, right? So then this gives the difference between the time, whether your 10 minutes promise is actually fulfilled or not, right? You name it. They can call it as a fulfillment rate or whatever it is, but that is something that how business measures it, right? Now, how the cost is actually optimized. So now there is something called picking cost, packing cost is already there, and then you have something business has to pay for the rider or your delivery partner. So that rider cost is there, and then the platform overhead. So they just have to optimize your app or your mobile applications. So day in, day out, right? As technology changes, they just wanted to optimize it. So this is something, one of the measure that gives that information, right? What does actually delivery cost is happening in the business, right? So one key reflection point here is that fast delivery doesn't mean that business is actually profitable, right? So fast delivery, when the costs are rising, is not a success, right? So even when you are spending 5 rupees instead of 2 rupees, and then you are delivering 100 orders instead of 10, and then slowly you are risking your business because you already know that you are bleeding, right? So there is something called your wastage aspect. You just have to see, suppose you have your tomatoes kept, or I mean, in other way, the perishable goods. If you are stocking them more and then the orders are not there, you are just risking there, basically, right? The inventory, you are not able to uh, turn them over very, very fast. So that's also there. And finally, I mentioned the dark stores, right? So dark stores, when I meant these are stores that are available not for retailing, but they are available there just for picking up and then delivering, right? So if these stores are underutilized, so then there is a problem. If these stores are overutilized, then also there is a problem, right? When in the case of underutilization, so you are having your warehouse burden, cost burden, etc., the economics are not working out. But in the case of overutilization, your delivery partners are waiting, right? And you are in turn not able to meet the customer experience, right? So obviously you see a delay risk there, right? So people are actually waiting. So then there is a knock-on effect, and then you have to wait for it. So all these kind of things, business will slowly, utilize as metrics to see how they're actually doing it, right? Now, imagine that you wanted to study analytically, because this was one of the question one of the student was asking, right? So he said, how do we do that? Because for me, there is no access for the real-time data or actual transactions that are happening with these kind of things. So there is one website called Kaggle, Kaggle, if someone doesn't know. So this is something where you will be able to have simulated public data sets so that are available. So you don't have to worry, because these are for academic purposes largely. So there you will have some interesting data sets like your demand data sets, logistics data sets, your route optimization data sets, whatnot. You just have to have some patience to just look at them, understand, and then become fluent in those data sets so that you'll be able to utilize them for your use cases, right? So now, having said that, I will touch upon the last topic, like where is the human decision making aspect that is coming into picture, right? So every critical decision, for example, in this 10-minute delivery thing only, is human, right? Suppose where to open these dark stores. This is a human decision. What products to stock? Of course, yes. I will have my data. There will be some predictions that are coming to ease my decision making, but the final decision is made by a human. How much loss to absorb? This is critical, right? So there is a human attachment that is involved here. When to slow down expansion? Suppose in a radius of 2 kilometers. So, how many dark stores do I need to open, or do I need to keep them open, or should I expand? All these questions are made by human. Suppose if you observe, there are few scenarios where a medical store of a same brand will be, you will see them just opposite uh, sides of the each road, right? On the same road, you will see diagonally opposite. The reason is that there is an interesting use case. People stopped, buying in that store because they just have to make a U-turn, etc. So this is what they realized to ease the customer decision making, or to facilitate them, diagonally opposite they open the stores so that customer will have that perception whenever they go, I don't have to take a U-turn. The store already available there. Each and every business store has got their own business, right? So there is no losing of customers, etc. Right? So same way you see the relatable example, use your fuel stations or petrol pumps that we call in India. So they are diagonally opposite even when you drive in the highways, etc. Right? This is the thing. So now, coming to the point, algorithms can only recommend, but ultimately humans has to decide. So technology can optimize the execution operationally, right? But cannot be delegated fully. I mean, I know there are few agentic AI concepts that are coming right now, which there is a huge discussion. I will just park this for one more podcast or one more video that we do. But for now, I just wanted to give you a perspective before I forget this concept, right? So I just note it down that I need to make a video when I get time, but there are a lot of these kind of concepts. So I just thought strike it when uh, uh, the rod is heat, or whatever they call, right? So the iron is hot. So to close, as a takeaway, 10-minute delivery, according to me, is not about the speed. It's about the business model, and there are interesting aspects about human behavior and then economic viability. So when businesses make, I mean, mistake technology for strategy, when business, I mean, they grow fast, right? Growth might be fast for some time, but there will be struggles little later. So, I mean, like that, you can just Google around and then see. And there are a lot of use cases like that, right? Especially when we discuss from a business strategy use case front. With this, I think we are 20 minutes plus. So I have a lot of things to tell, but I will just park those ideas for next video. So in the future episodes, where I think I promised I will keep discussing about the education, academics, technology, and stitching them together with human judgment, right? So this is intersection of those things. So thank you very much for listening. And if you like, and if you wanted to have any more diverse topics that you wanted me to discuss or share, so comment, or you can just send it via LinkedIn, etc. So I will try to note them, and time permits, I will do those things. Please do like and then share so that the knowledge is available to more students and professionals. Thank you very much one more time watching. We will soon meet in the next episode. Thank you.